Broadcasting live from the WGBB World Headquarters here in New York. This is the Big Fat Joey Show with your host, Big Fat Joey.
Hey, Sin. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Wow, 2022.
Can't believe it's already here. Well, welcome back, everyone, for the first show of the new year. Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on radio. Right, Sin?
Yes, absolutely. So how's the new year? I mean, there's so much going on. I don't even know where to start.
So much going on. You know what? There's a whole lot of going on. You know, unfortunately, new year, same COVID.
Yes, I cannot believe we're still in the same situation. I was hopeful the new year would be a lot better, but I don't know. The numbers on Long Island are really up there.
The whole state, you know what? I'm no doctor, but gotta stay safe, you know, unless you really have to meet with people or do things. This is my own personal opinion. I said I'm far from a doctor. I got 10th grade health class under my belt, but you know what? If you don't have to meet with anyone or what have you, you know, don't. That's my guess on it. And wear your mask. I mean, you know, I think it helps. I mean, I wear mine. They say it does. They say it doesn't. I don't know, but it doesn't hurt me to wear it.
Absolutely. Well, it's getting like out of control. I'm just hopeful that things get under control. And same thing. I'm in a bubble. I guess you could call me Bubble Girl for a while.
Yeah, we've been laying low, living large. You know, not really doing much of anything. Just going on you know, day trips, driving around. You know, not getting out of the car to go into any stores or anything like that. You know, walking the streets and things. You know, just seeing what's going on, but not going in and you know, no food shopping, no clothes shopping, none of that. Just getting everything, you know, delivered.
Well, I have to talk about that, actually. We delivered Peapod, and my chip bag was open. So I guess it's true. Those delivery drivers do try your food.
Yeah, I don't know, you know,
What
if the Peapod driver or not did it or the bag just popped open on its own. We're not accusing anyone, Sin. It's only alleged, right?
Yes, absolutely. But I was like, so I guess they do.
And those are my favorite chips, too, the Ruffles sour cream and onion. So
that means the pizza driver tries your food, maybe, and anything else with those delivery services. I don't know.
I hope not. But, you
it
know,
was just funny.
We've always had a good experience with Peapod.
Yes.
They delivered. I'm guessing the bag just popped open. The bag it came in, you know, the brown paper bag was kind of packed.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I also want to talk about all the new shows that are out there. Let's start with Cobra Kai.
Good. Listened to it last year. I saw it last year. Great show. It's just enjoyable. You know, if you saw the original Cobra Kai back in the day.
Cobra Kai? Karate Kid.
Oh, Karate Kid, yeah. I'm sorry. If you saw the original Karate Kid back in the day, you know, there's a lot of references from it. So if you're watching Cobra Kai, you know, you'll get some of the, I guess, inside jokes. It just came out. Was it New Year's Eve? Right.
It's good.
It's good. You know, if you know,
it's fast moving. It's light.
It's fun. You know,
reminds you of your childhood.
Yeah, it reminds you of your childhood. Like I said, if you saw the original Karate Kid, there's a lot of things in it that you know, you get the inside jokes, and obviously, you know, the two main characters are still.
Competing against each other. Rivalry.
That's the word I'm looking for. But it's fun. Check that out. What's it on? Netflix?
Yes.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, I know. We've got so many different pay cable. I don't even know what I want to call them. Internet channel. I don't even know what they call it anymore. We've got so many. It's on Netflix. It's on Discovery Plus. It's on HBO Max. I've lost track.
Well, let's talk about Emily in Paris. Totally binged it in like a couple of days.
Good show. You know what? It's refreshing, you know, and especially if any
light,
of you
it's fun.
Have seen the new Sex and the City reboot.
Wait, let's not talk about that yet. Let's talk about Emily in Paris.
All right.
Emily in Paris is like fun and fresh and flirty, and it's a really fun and light and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, Lily Collins, you know, Phil Collins' daughter. You know, she's the star of Emily in Paris. It's just a good
cast.
Good cast, lighthearted, light-natured, fast-moving, you know, fun show. And it's filmed in Paris, so, you know, you get to see something different than New York.
Beautiful sights.
You know, beautiful sights and scenes, and it's just a fun storyline.
Well, now we could talk about Sex and the City because I don't even know what to talk about because it's let me down. That's all I could say.
Yeah, you know, first episode, you know, very shocking, for lack of a better word, statement. Just wasn't what we thought it would be.
Yes, I thought it was going to be similar to Emily in Paris, which was like what kind of Sex in the City was back in the day. And it just took, I don't know, the wrong turn. That's the only word I can say.
And just like that, it took the wrong turn. It's,
Yes.
I don't know. It just seems to...
It's not lighthearted.
Not lighthearted. I don't know.
That's all I could say. It just took the wrong turn.
Just took the wrong turn.
But on the other note, I keep watching Carrie Diaries because I'm still loving from the Channel 11 show.
And that was what, like 15 years ago?
Exactly. And it was just like what Sex in the City was, and it's still fun to watch. And I can watch that on reruns all day.
Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. Sex and the City and just like that, it has its moments. The past couple episodes have been a little better, I guess, but we were really hoping for it to really kind of pick up where it left off. Just the girls having fun time and moving along. But there's been some issues with it, I guess, for lack of a better.
Yes, that's it. All I can say is I'm disappointed, but everyone else has their own opinion, right?
Right. And I was happy on New Year's Day. One of the stations was running an all-day, like a 36-hour marathon of the original TV series, The Odd Couple. I love Oscar Madison and Felix, and I love The Odd Couple. One of the greatest shows put together in the early 70s, and it's just a fun show to watch. And I was happy to see that since, she kind of watches it, but not really.
No, I was also watching the other movie, Don't Look Up, with Leonardo. That was
Leonardo.
interesting.
Who else was in that?
Leonardo, I'm trying to think. Leonardo DiCaprio was like one of the main, I'm trying to think. I see her face, but I can't. Jennifer Lawrence, was it?
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence.
Yep.
We're going to go right to the internet. So let's not confuse people. Kate Blanchett.
Yes.
Ariana Grande.
Yes.
Meryl Streep.
Yes, she looked beautiful.
Yeah. Chris Evans. So, good movie.
And good cast.
Yeah, good cast. Interesting movie. A little...
I guess not sci-fi, but a little out there.
Yeah.
But it kept my interest and it kept moving, so it was good.
Yeah. Kept our interest, kept moving. All about an asteroid coming towards Earth. I'll let you watch the movie to figure out what happens, but
it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
I liked it.
Yeah.
The cast was good too.
And we've been finding we're watching more of
Internet TV,
I guess, for lack of a phrase, as opposed to regular cable. We're putting on the Netflix, the HBO Max, Discovery Plus, so we're watching a lot of that. But yeah, it's been a good start to a new year. We had a snowstorm. What was it 2 days ago? Friday, at about 6 or so inches here out where we are on Long Island. Nothing too crazy, but enough to get out the shovel. I didn't break out the snow blower. I figured I'd get a little exercise. The snow was light. That was the good thing. If it was heavy snow, you need the snow blower. But this was really light, really, really fluffy, easy to push around.
Well, all I could say is it snowed. It's January, and that means it's a summer countdown.
Countdown to summer. What do we got? 4.5 months till Memorial Day weekend, something like that.
That's it. That's what I'm waiting for. So you have a pretty busy schedule here today. What's happening?
Got a jam-packed show. We have on today 3 guests. And our first guest is going to be on today with us is Travis Ortmayer, also known as the Texas Strongman. Travis Ortmayer, if you ever seen on ESPN, the strongman competitions, one of the contestants. He's been doing this for some 20-odd years around the world. Great guy, big guy. Fun guy to speak to. He talks about all his competitions. And, there was a little dark period in his life where things got a little, for lack of a better phrase. And he talks
But he came up on top.
All about that. And, yes, he came out on top. And that's what I love to hear. I love to hear stories of people who come out on top. He had some dark days, but he was able to find the light at the end of the tunnel and keep himself moving. And to be here with us, speak with us, and talk all about working out and having a good time and living life to its fullest. We also have on a young singing sensation all the way from Israel, Liam Max. He'll be speaking with us today, and we're going to be hearing his new hit song, Muffin. I didn't ask him if it was corn or blueberry, but I like all sorts of muffins, so whatever it is, very tasty. So Liam Max out of Israel. We'll be listening to his song Muffin today. Young man, up and coming. He's making his own roads in the music industry. And then we have a New York City artist who likes to be anonymous, but goes by the name of Peter Lake. Peter Lake is going to be with us today, and we're going to be hearing his latest hit song, Shadow Games, from his EP, Blue, that's dropping this Friday, the 14th of January. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, up next is my interview with Strongman Travis Ortmayer. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line two-time America's Strongest Man, advocate for life, and Texas's very own Stone Man, Travis Ortmayer. Travis, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing really well. I'm just getting over coronavirus, but today is the first day I feel really great. So happy to be here, man.
I'm happy that you're here with us, and speedy recovery. I've done so many interviews where I think I'm calling one person like you, Travis, and next thing I know, I got someone else called COVID who's on the line with me and my person I'm trying to speak with. I've had too many interviews with people with COVID, but thank goodness you're feeling better. You sound good. I hear a little cough in you, but you sound good.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate. Let's just put it that way. I got really lucky. Healthy living. Maybe I was owed one finally.
Hey, like they say, sometimes sun shines on the dog's butt.
Fair enough.
So, Travis, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, how you got into strongman competition, and everything, Travis Ortmayer.
Well, I started competing in strongman competitions in 2002. Since that time, I've been to 8 world championships, 5 times at World's Strongest Man. I've been fifth 3 times. I went to the Arnold Classic. I was third twice there. For a decade, I was one of the top 10 athletes on the planet. And, I just kind of got into strongman almost by mistake. I'd been working out since I was 11 years old, trying to be a bodybuilder. But I'm too tall. I got too long arms and legs for being a really good bodybuilder. So tried powerlifting. Powerlifting wasn't very fun. Then a friend of mine, he said he was going to do Texas Strongest Man. And I remember he was a training partner. So, of course, I was going to go up and I was going to help him with the show. The entire way there, I remember him saying how he didn't want to finish last. He just didn't want to finish last. And this is important in a minute. But we get there. He's signing in. The promoter looks at me, and he says, Travis, why don't you sign up? I said, what the heck? I'll give it a shot. And then that's when my friend looked at me and said, man, I'm glad you signed up because now, at least now I know I won't take last.
That's a good friend.
That moment changed my life, man. I didn't know I had a competitive bone in my body. And we did that contest the next day, and it was the most fun I'd ever had doing anything in my entire life. It was very apparent right then and there that this is where I was supposed to take my life. I dreamt about the equipment. I dreamt about that contest, the way it felt, the way the Atlas stones felt, the tacky smelled. I dreamt about it every night for 6 months after that. So I was hooked. Soon after, that was 2002, and by 2005, I'd gone to my first world championship. So when I say I was hooked, I mean, it became an obsession. And then been doing that more or less ever since. I had a little bit of a down period between that, but we can get into that in a minute.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, everyone in life has, the ups and downs. But, your story is very reminiscent of a lot of people I speak with. I interview sports athletes. I interview musicians, actors, actresses, people from all walks of life, different realms. And a lot of them were like, yeah, I was dropping my friend off at the acting studio. They want to be an actor. the person didn't show up who they're supposed to act with, and well, here I am. I'm an actor now. I never thought I'd be one, but I just happened to be in the right place and dropped a friend off, and they said, "Yeah, well, we need an extra person, so can you do it?" And here I am. I'm an actor.
Fate has a funny way of making things happen sometimes.
So, why
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Well, I was just going to say, speaking on fate has its way of making us who we're supposed to be sometimes, whether we want to or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where my story turns. I went to 5 world championships, and seven world championships, 5 times at the Arnold, and this is all before 2011.
Wow.
And, in that time, I think I had been riding high so long, competing so hard and training so hard. I was burning the candles at both ends, and I just started to crack at the seams a little bit. And, at that time, this is a thing that happens to a lot of strength athletes, a lot of athletes in general. But painkillers, the epidemic of painkillers was really hot at that time, and I was one of the people that kind of got sucked into that. And when I was burning the candle at both ends, I was also kind of medicating myself with painkillers, and that doesn't just numb your body; it numbs your soul, it numbs your emotions. And so I started to kind of grow distant from my wife at the time, and we had a young son who was just a few years old. By 2012, we had split up. She was from England, and my son and her moved to England. And I can still tell you the worst day of my entire life, the worst exact moment was November 25th, 2012, when I dropped them off at the airport. And everything in the back of my head, my intuition was screaming at me that this is the worst mistake you've ever made in your life. Don't do it. But I let it happen. And, that crushed me. That crushed me, and that kind of set me into a bit of a downward spiral for the next few years. Excuse me. Sorry, my voice is still a little bit hoarse.
No, take
the coronavirus.
Yeah, no, take your time.
But that pain and that suffering, it bled into every aspect of my life. I couldn't train. I couldn't even think about going into the gym. I was so burnt out. I was so beat up. I hated the idea of training. And this is coming from somebody who, I started working out at 11 years old with a couple plastic weights, and I went in the kitchen and got my mom's broom, sawed the end off, and used that as my barbell. She wasn't too happy
I was
about
about
it,
to
but
say.
that's how upset I was. But, I hated training. I hated life, and when an athlete gets to the point where he's not doing what it is he has done, every day of his life, you end up with this big hole, and that vacuum needs to be filled by something. And, for me, it was addiction. I got sucked into an addiction that lasted another 5 years. And in that time, I lost everything, man. I lost my family. I lost my friends. I lost my career. I lost, my personal training career on the side. I lost who I was. I remember looking in the mirror and genuinely not knowing that guy staring back at me. So it was a 4 or 5 year descent into madness, right down into hell. And this is where I learned one of the most important lessons in life. It was my rock bottom. I remember sitting in my bathroom of my house, surrounded by all the pain and misery that I built up over the few years of being alone and destroyed. And I was ready to end things. So, I kind of equate it to, I was staring the devil in the face, and he was just kind of laughing, asking me if I was ready to give up yet. And then I had a gun in my mouth at this moment. That was the devil. And I remember taking the gun out of my mouth, kind of shaking, and then having this feeling that overwhelmed me of, I'm not ready to give up yet. I'm not done fighting yet. And that's when I started to find a way to claw out of that darkness. And for the first time in years, I had this little pinprick of light, hope at the end of the tunnel. And I crawled toward it until that light got bigger and bigger. And I finally, after about a year of turning my thoughts around, I found my way out of that hell.
Well,
the way that I turned my thoughts around, and this is just really important for anybody, and I don't want to get too super serious, but here's a life lesson that saved my life, and it's called gratitude. Gratitude gives you something to hope for. Hope gives you something to live for. And when you find those things, you give yourself a purpose. And when you've got purpose, that is when you start living. You find your passion, you live your purpose. That is when you really start putting together a life that makes you happy and grateful and want to keep waking up every day. That's how I changed my life, finding purpose.
And you know what? Gratitude, I'm glad you said that, because you know what? We all go through the ups and downs, and I am so glad that you didn't do what you set out to do, that you saw that glimmer of hope at the last moment, and you turned your life around. Because, I work in New York City, and, I don't always have a good day. We have our ups and downs. But you know what? Unfortunately, when I'm driving home or what have you, I see a lot of people who have it a lot worse than I do. And their worse looks like it's an ongoing worse. It's a day-by-day thing. You see a lot of homeless people who need assistance. My bad day might have been, I got a flat tire, or, I lost an account or something like that. I'm like, blah, blah. But, and I try to think of it like, you know what? There are people who are having a lot worse day than you. So be thankful and be gracious for what you have. And, let's make tomorrow a much better day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It can always get worse. Like, even in my worst moment, it could have been a little bit worse.
Exactly.
There's no end to how much worse it can get. But, it's also important to note that, everybody's worst day feels about as bad as everybody else's worst day. And there's different levels of it. What is your perception and what is your threshold? So, it's easy to get for some people, like you say, they see other people have it worse than me, and it's easy to be great. And that's an awesome way to look at it. But I know some people that say, well, I don't understand, this person has it worse, but that doesn't really make my worst feel any better. So what I tell those people is, we all have our bad days, and it doesn't matter if somebody has it worse than us or not. Here we are having a terrible day. Let's just change what it is we're looking at. We're changing our perception, putting a different lens over it. And instead of looking out at the world and finding all the bad things that are happening to you, you look out at the world. I want you to find one good thing that's out there, one simple little good thing. And it doesn't have to be much. I mean, in that moment when I put the gun down, I had my head in my hands. I was freaking out, crying, shaking. And I looked down. I said, I got to find something good in my life. And I couldn't think of anything. And then I saw my toes move, but just my feet. And I remember thinking, well, shoot, man, I've got my own 2 feet. I can get up and I can walk out of this mess. And then, boom, I had this sudden feeling of joy for the first time in years surge up within me. It was the first time I felt grateful for anything. And it was just because I had my own 2 feet still. So when people are looking at the world, and this for me, I was looking at the world and I saw nothing but negativity. But in that moment, I learned to find one little good thing. And then the next day, I found another good thing. And the next day, I found another good thing. And so now what I did was I'm looking at the same world around me with a completely different lens. And instead of seeing all the negative and the pain and the sadness, I found one tiny little speck of good, which taught me to find another speck of good. And when I got used to finding all those little good things, my whole picture changed. It's the same world, completely different lens. Now I'm seeing all the good in life. And it's just one of those things you got to take day by day, one little step by step.
And that's right. It's day by day, step by step. Well, you know what? I'm glad you turned it around. I'm glad you're here with us today, speaking about everything Travis Ortmayer. Now, what I want to know, why do they call you the Stone Man?
Travis, Texas Strongman is a nickname that I got because the Atlas Stone event in Strongman is kind of my forte, and I have 15 or 20 world records on that event alone, and I kind of changed the game on how the Atlas Stones were done. Before me, guys would slowly go through them, or they would kind of move fast, but nobody did it quite like I did. Now, I see a lot of the guys using my same technique. So yeah, that name stuck with me over the years.
You know what? That Atlas Stone, I see, right? It's on different podiums, I guess, and each podium's a little, I guess if you're going from left to right, the way I look at it on TV, each podium's a little taller.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways of doing it. Traditionally, like World's Strongest Man, we'll have the lighter stone on the highest platform.
Okay.
And then you've got 5 stones that get heavier. Each one goes to a little bit lower platform. But there's also, max stone over a 4-foot bar or onto a 4-foot platform. And I was the first man to break the 500-pound barrier. I loaded a 520-pound stone to a 4-foot platform.
Wow.
Back in like 2005. So, yeah, that record has been broken since. But, you can break a record with 525 or 530, but there's only one man who breaks a 500-pound barrier when it's a significant barrier like that. So that's my claim. I will always be the first man to break that barrier.
Yeah, and you set the pace for everyone else. Now, since the Atlas Stone is your best event, which is the event that you dread the most? Like, no, I don't. Please.
Yeah, I got one of those. Log press. It's essentially started out as they'd cut a tree down to about a 6-inch or a 6-foot length, maybe 8-foot length, 12-inch diameter. They'd stick some handles in it with kind of a neutral grip. So you got to pick it up, clean it up to your shoulders, press it overhead. Clean and press with a log for reps is probably my least favorite event, because no matter what happens, when that event is done, you're completely spent. And 9 times out of 10, I'm looking for a trash can because I'm about to throw up.
Yeah, and I love watching it on TV. One of the, it's not the one that was just in Northern California about a month or so ago.
Yeah, World's Strongest Man. That was there.
Yes, and you guys always go to beautiful locales, but I see that type of event, the Atlas Stone event, the one that looks a little scary to me, and you have it's not a helper for you, but it's more of a safety person. I guess it's like there's a pole that lays on the ground. There's like 3 or 4 of them, set apart, and you walk up to it. You got to kind of use your hands and walk it up and make it tip over the other way. Then you run to the next pole, which I assume is a little longer, a little heavier.
Yeah, it's called the Fingal's Fingers.
Yes.
It's named after a circus guy back in the late 1800s, I think. His name was Fingal. And Fingal's Fingers were giant pipes he would pick up and flip over. Yeah, that's one of those events that's, one slip and it can come down and give you a little bit of a headache, I guess.
Yeah, that one, and also obviously I see, and unfortunately, I think on that that last competition, what's it? I just blanked out. Not the deadlift. You go under the bar and squats. You see people's knees and stuff going. I'm like, oh God, that doesn't look good.
Well, thankfully they've got it set up with the way we do it in Strongman at Worlds was it's an oversized bar. It looks like a giant circus barbell, but you go down and you hit these blocks on either side. So if you ever do get stapled under the weight, the blocks are kind of like a safety bar. It kind of keeps the weight from completely crushing somebody.
Right, yeah.
So it's pretty safe. It's just a tough event. It's 715 pounds of reps.
Yeah, no, I'm amazed, at what all of the competitors can do in lifting weights. Now, for my audience, and I'm going to assume it's going to be my younger audience, for those who are looking to get into some sort of weightlifting routine or strongman competition, what's one bit of advice you could give them?
Oh man, so there's so much advice I want to give them. Find a program. Search online, find a program that you can follow and actually follow that program. Don't go overboard like I did when I was young. I used to beat myself into the ground so freaking bad. And if you have the means, I would suggest finding a smart coach. And I don't just say that because I am a coach, but I say that because you find the right coach, he can help navigate you through so many of the pitfalls that I've personally gone through in my almost 30-year career lifting weights. It'll save you a lot of time, a lot of pain, and a lot of heartache and stress.
Well, that definitely makes sense. Obviously, someone who's been there, done that, knows how to not only help you train mentally and physically, but they can also help you navigate the ins and outs and the pitfalls of the entire circuit, the genre of strongman competition.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, because strongman's a dangerous sport. I personally had 3 surgeries, and I've probably needed 4 or 5 others that I didn't get because I've ripped muscles. I've got half a pec torn off. I had to reattach my bicep. I mean, I've torn or broken pretty much every muscle that I've got in my body.
Oh, okay.
It's tough, man. But that's where that mindset comes in. I love what I do, and then I believe that I can heal. And, that belief has carried me a long way through the sport. So, if I can get my clients to not have to go through the injuries, that would be awesome. But inevitably, somebody's going to get hurt somewhere. So I feel, I can provide a lot to my clients that do get injured because I've been there, I've done that, I've rehabbed it, and I know the mindset it takes to successfully overcome little injuries like that, or even big injuries.
No, that's definitely right. It is no better advice from someone who has had that experience. It's all good and well to go to school or train or this and that, but someone who's been doing it, like you said, for 30 years now, you've experienced just about everything that you could experience in that sport. And at least when you're mentoring someone, training someone, it's always, I always tell people, I always find it like if you go to a restaurant or something like that and you see the chef, but they never were the bus boy or the cleanup person or the bathroom, but they went right to the top, so they don't really know what everyone else is doing, besides them. They haven't experienced that. I got to clean the bathroom after a New Year's Eve party. Like, this is not going to be pretty. So, you've been there. You've been through the trenches. So when you have your person with you, they can believe in what you say because listen, I ripped that pec. I know what you're going through. I'm not just saying I know what you're going through because I could feel your pain. I felt the pain, so I'm well aware of exactly what you need to get done.
That's you're absolutely right, man. There's a lot to be said about somebody who can lead from the front rather than shout orders from the back because they studied tactics somewhere,
Now, Travis, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Travis Ortmayer?
Well, I do a lot of posting on Instagram. I enjoy it. I like interacting with all my followers and my friends on there. So Instagram, it's just Travis _Ortmayer. And then I've got a website that people can contact me about coaching. So it's travisortmayer.com or Texas Strongman, all one word.com. You can also shoot me a DM on Instagram if you're ever interested in coaching or if you got any questions about training. I love to help people out. So I go through my DMs a lot and try to keep in contact with people that way.
Well, that sounds great. Well, Travis Ortmayer, Texas Strongman, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do.
Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Have a great day. Bye-bye. What an inspirational interview, Sin.
I love those kind of stories. Yes, absolutely an amazing. He's an inspiration to other people, and just everything that he's been through to come out on top is just it's so good. I love it.
Yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, up next is my interview with singing sensation, all the way from Israel, Liam Max. And right after his interview, we'll be listening to his latest hit song, Muffin. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line singer, songwriter extraordinaire, Liam Max. Liam, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Thank you for having me. It's a wonderful day.
Thank you for being on.
The lyric in my song is, "It's a beautiful morning, it's a wonderful day." So I felt it was necessary to quote it there. Appropriate.
Definitely appropriate. You know what? It is a beautiful day. You're halfway around the world. We're speaking this morning. You're over in Israel, and it's great to get you. It's in the afternoon for you. It's early morning for myself, but I'm glad we're able to link up, and I'm super excited. I love speaking to indie artists who are making new music, especially around the world. But first and foremost, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Liam Max?
Who is Liam Max? That is a good question. Liam Max is, should I refer to myself in third person? Anyways, I am a singer-songwriter originally from Rockville, Maryland, and I moved to Israel 2 years ago with my family. And my background in music has been a long one. My dad has always played piano. I have played piano and I tried to play guitar when I was 5 years old. My fingers couldn't reach the sixth string. That was pretty unfortunate. I played some saxophone. I played violin instead. That one I could reach on. And I just recently got back into guitar, and I just started writing songs about a year ago and just released my first one 2 weeks ago, Muffin by Liam Max.
And what is Muffin all about? It's making me hungry, on an early morning day. What's Muffin all about?
I can definitely say it's made me hungry, and there have been a lot of times where I've been buying and cooking a lot of muffins. I love to cook, cooking a lot of muffins recently, just because everyone's obsessed with the song, and I'm obsessed with food, so it goes well together. Muffin is about, it's a very feel good song. It's when I was at a time during COVID when I just didn't really have much motivation. I wrote a song, and the song was very motivating. Besides giving me something to do, which most of us didn't have anything to do, but gave me something to do, and it just made me feel good. And I released it, hoping it will make others feel good, and people listen to it, and they'll feel good. I like making people feel good, and I like food, and food makes you feel good.
Well, obviously, the title of my show, The Big Fat Joey Show, obviously know I like food. And you know what? And a lot of times food does make people feel good. And it's about time that, everyone gets out of their funk from this coronavirus and everyone starts to feel good. Now, Muffin is just one of the things you've produced. And you are currently producing your next hit album, No Excuses,
yes,
which is coming out tentatively February of 2022. Can you tell us a little bit about the album, what inspired you to make it, and what's the theme of it all in all?
Okay, that's a very good question. So the album is primarily going to be songs it's going to be a faster album. It's going to be more uplifting songs. And the theme of it is really in the title, No Excuses. That really in life, if you want to get anything done, it doesn't matter what you are doing as long as you're doing something. As a few of my inspirations in life, one of them being my dad always says, keep moving forward. Whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. It doesn't matter how much you're moving forward or how small steps you're taking. If your skin is stand still, you're gonna fall down. So you have to keep moving forward. And that's really the theme of this album, is that we need to go. We need to move. We've got places to be, things to do. And there are sights to see, and I want to see them.
And, you follow a very smart man. Yes. Every day, if you could wake up with some sort of goal, big goal, little goal, something, at least you move something more forward than yesterday. If you move an inch past yesterday's line, a half an inch, but at least you've moved forward. You've accomplished something, even though it might be minute. Hey, you know what? I was going to change all the shoelaces of my shoes tomorrow. And you did that because you couldn't get anything else going on. But at least that's one more thing you could check off your to-do list. And, that's what you have to, especially as a musician. You have to always keep moving forward, because if you get into that rut and you get a little, musician's block, you're never going to get anything done. And you're like, wow, 1 year passed by, 2 years passed by, 3 years passed by, and a whole lot of nothing got done.
A whole lot of nothing got done. Exactly. And that's where most people get stuck. One thing that moving forward always helps with, it gives you motivation. If you're going to sit on the couch and do absolutely nothing, at least sit on the couch and do absolutely nothing with food. I'm just kidding.
Hey, listen, I've been known to do that plenty of times. I think even last night, bag of potato chips and and I was watching a movie.
Yeah, we've all done that. Every day I wake up with a goal. Today I'm going to go to the gym. Today I'm going to go to the studio. Today I am going to and even when I'm going to the studio, I don't make big goals. I say, today I'm just going to record half the song. We're going to record vocals for half the song. We're going to produce the music for the whole song. And generally, when you set a goal for yourself, it's much easier to reach it. Because without a goal, if you don't have a goal, it's very impossible to reach it, and you don't know where to stop. And when I have a stopping point, when you know where your goal is, then you know what your limits are, and you can overcome your limits and make them have bigger. You can have bigger boundaries, and you can get more done. It's something I love to do.
You definitely can. You need a goal, even in life, even in everyday planning, because if you don't know where you're supposed to end at the end of the day, then you don't know if you got anything done. And then one day, like I said, it bleeds into the next, and it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. Now, Liam.
Exactly. Yes.
How can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Liam Max?
You can follow my Instagram. I am Liam Max. You can follow my TikTok. I am Liam Max. You can follow basically about every social media platform at I am Liam Max. Well,
that sounds great. It's great that you got it across all the platforms. I know a lot of artists, unfortunately, they have multiple handles because they couldn't get the same handle across all platforms. Well, Liam Max, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I roll on out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen. Pour myself a cup of ambition. I'm walking out the door like a monkey on a mission. Hello, how's it going today? I'm just sitting on the couch with a little bit of muffin, looking at my feet like the effort is nothing, killing all my time like tomorrow isn't coming. Hello, how's it going? It's a beautiful morning, it's a wonderful day, it's up for the taking, so don't give it away. Today is too early, tomorrow too late. It's a wonderful morning, it's a beautiful day, beautiful day, beautiful day. on the couch with a little bit of COVID. Putting up my feet like the effort's not worth it. Killing all my time like the day just wasn't perfect. Hello, how's it going? It's a beautiful morning. It's a wonderful day. It's up for the taking, so don't give it away. Today is too early, tomorrow too late. It's a wonderful morning. It's a beautiful day, beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Too early, tomorrow too late. It's a wonderful morning. It's a beautiful day, beautiful day, beautiful day.
Wow, Sin, 16 years old. Look at all he's done.
Absolutely. I love these indie artists. And especially at 16, I'm totally impressed.
Totally impressed. You know what? It's always fun to get our indie artists on, especially from around the world. You know, different genres, different types of music, different flavors of music. It's always a fun day. And ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up today's show, we're going to be speaking with Peter Lake and listening to his hit song, Shadow Games, from his EP, Blue, which once again drops this Friday, the 14th. So before we go and listen to Peter's interview and his hit song, this is Big Fat Joey. Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on the radio here with Sin, reminding everyone to
Make every sandwich count.
Peace. All right, everyone, let's welcome him to the line. A local musician, Peter Lake. Peter, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Oh, thanks. That's sort of the sound I heard when I played Madison Square Garden the other day. It just brings back all the tingles, you know?
Yeah, you know, applause, get the
That was
juices
bad,
flowing.
Sorry. What's that? Yeah, I heard the clapping. Maybe it was my dream. I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
So, Peter, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I sort of think of myself as just sort of like your average guy. And then, like, you know, like 3 years ago, if somebody asked me to sing like Happy Birthday, I'd be like the one being like, Happy Birthday, you know, in case like the music stops and they hear your voice. So like, not only did I not sing, I mean, I would run away if somebody asked me to sing. And then I had kind of like I don't know, I just put it as like almost like a bet with a producer, because I was sort of complaining about how my Spotify list kind of didn't have good music. And I'm like, why is there so much music I don't like? Somebody's like, it's harder than you think. So they're like, you try writing a song. So that night I wrote a song, and I didn't even know really what that meant. I just wrote like some words, and then I sort of sung it in a way that sounded okay in a voice memo. I sent it to this producer, and then like a week later, he was like, it's a song, come to my studio. And I remember when I went there, I thought it was like a private lesson or something. I didn't really get it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I got there, and he was like, go in the booth and sing it. And I sang this like song, and then he put it on this SoundCloud link. And that night I heard it, and it was like the weirdest feeling of my entire life, because I was like, I think it sounds kind of good, but like I'm a bit like self-deprecating and a little negative. So I sent it to my little sister. She always tells it to me straight, you know. And she calls me. She's like, Peter, like, is that you singing? I'm like, it's me singing, you know. And so, you know, she sends my parents, and they're like, we're worried about you. See a doctor, you know. But it was like this weird, like really random experience. And after I did that one, it was sort of felt really like it was really fun, honestly. And to be honest, it was really easy. I know it's like not good to say stuff like that, but like I wrote in like 10 minutes, and I got the melody, and I knew how it should sound. And I don't play any instruments, nothing. I don't read music, nothing. So I had to like guitar should be like, you know, I had to like make the sounds of the instruments with my voice. And then the track came together, and I was just like, can I do this again? You know? And yeah. So then I, like, in the next couple of weeks, this producer was like, hey, if you want to try writing some songs, come by again. So I showed up again, and I was like I showed up with like 10 songs. Like, literally, I just wrote and had the sounds, and they were like, oh, wow, this is a lot of songs. And anyway, that's how it all got started. So it's a pretty new thing for me. And I always find it weird because it's like literally like 3.5 years ago, if you told me that I'd be like talking to somebody about my music, I'd be like, well, I guess I went insane. So, yeah.
Hey, listen, you know what? Stranger things have happened. You see all these other musicians on TV. Like, look at Justin Bieber. He was found, by his YouTube videos that he was putting out there. Now, since you say, you're not, a musician by trade, you don't play any interesting things of that nature. Where are you getting your inspirations for your songs, and especially for your upcoming EP, Blue, which is dropping on January 14th of 2022? Where do you get your inspirations from, Peter?
I mean, honestly, the song by song basis, I sort of, once I started, it was almost like I couldn't stop. So, like, literally in the daytime, I just like walk around and I just hum. This is maybe sounds kind of boring, but I just like hum. I'm like, oh, no. Like, if I'm like this morning, I was looking for like my coat. And I was like, where's my coat? Where's my coat? Coat. Where's my coat? And you just start to, and eventually your brain kind of kicks in and tries to make it sound better because it's like so boring. And then a melody kind of just pops out. And I make a little voice memo of the melody. And I'm like, maybe I'll save that for later. And then I do stuff like that. And then I want to write a song. I'll kind of, feeling like there's some ideas. I'll write down the words. And then I'll either know kind of how it should sound, or I might like go into my inventory of different melodies and things. And then I just sort of sing it out. But it's always like one full thing, like from beginning to end with a particular sound. Now, granted, this is all a cappella, right? Because I don't have any instruments,
right?
But I'll then have the idea of it. So like Blue, I mean, so I'll tell you that like my thing is that they're about, call it I've done, let's say, about 200 songs now. And like when you're releasing stuff, what I learned from people who know better than me is that you can't release like too much because people are just getting to know Peter Lake, like I don't know, I have like all these like people like Instagram and stuff, but I don't know what's real and what's not. And like, so the key thing with these EPs was like, just do a little bit at a time. And so the first one was yellow, then red, then blue. And it was just a way to do like a few songs, because the way I think about a song is every song is a single, which is, I think, maybe a little different. And so with Blue, there are going to be 3 songs. And normally for every slot, I produce 10 songs. So I'm choosing the best out of 10 for each of the 3. So it's 30 songs. So behind Blue, there were 30 master recordings I did. And I just picked what I thought were the catchiest ones. And so there's Shadow Games, which is about when I was babysitting a friend's daughter. You wouldn't think about it. You hear the song. There's, I think I'm going to swap out Stones. I'm making everybody kind of upset. But I had this new song I recorded last week called Sugar It Lightly. And that has its own story to it. And then there's this one song called Ghost in Me, which is, just sort of more of a mourning song about losing somebody I love, which is, kind of inevitable for us living people to have somebody who dies before we die. So, so that's kind of like the mix of it. But it's like, it's more about the individual songs, and each one has kind of a story. And I write all the songs, and I do all the music in the sense that I'll come up with the melodies and stuff, and then I'll bring in this, if I think, it's guitar, it's this, like for example, this terrific drummer, Charlie Drayton, who's, really good at drums. Have like, if there's a live drum thing, he'll come in and he'll like give some ideas, and, we're pretty efficient about it. And, so I like all those songs, but I wouldn't say there's like a theme or something like that. Each song has its own story, but I don't want to talk your ear off about it. It's a lot to each one, but they're all personal. They're all
right.
real, and I think
I speak with a lot of musicians. Some musicians put albums out that have a theme behind them, and some put albums out like yourself that they pick their 10 or 12 catchiest tunes that they like, and they want to put together. I mean, we're going to play Shadow Games later on in the show today, but your EP Blue that's coming out on January 14th of 2022, which I can't believe is right, it's here already. It's just crazy. How can my audience then, Peter, find, follow, and keep up with everything Peter Lake?
Well, what I would say is it's maybe counterintuitive, but I would actually just wait because people, it's going to find you. Listen, let me tell you something kind of nuts. You could just kind of, think maybe I'm just kind of a little nuts. But like, I met with a super famous musician, and he was like, "You need a goal." And I'll tell you what my goal is. My goal is that, have you ever seen the movie Contact by any chance with Jodie Foster? One of these alien movies, where they like make contact with human civilization, and everybody's always like, "What do we tell the aliens? What message do we send?"
Mm-hmm.
And I thought my goal is that, not to say that this will ever happen in terms of the aliens, but if, let's say, in 20 years there was alien contact, the Chinese, the Russians, the Americans, everybody, they're going to be fighting about like one thing, and it's going to be which Peter Lake song do they send to the aliens. Now, that's the ambition. Now, not Grammys and all this nonsense to me. Like, look, it's creating music people really love for the pure purpose of just making the greatest song ever. And what does that mean? I don't even really know. But the key thing is that every time you make a song, you're releasing it. It definitely has a quality and an authenticity, and it's catchy, but it's also artistic, and it keeps coming. So I've got this year, I think 5 EPs coming out. I've got a release schedule for the next 5 years. So I'll tell you, I'm from Canada, and this is a very Canadian expression, but we always say, you don't know what snowflake causes the avalanche. All I'm really doing right now is making it snow. And hopefully the songs find you because, it's a slow process, if that makes sense. It's probably not a good way to publicize myself, but I'm on Instagram because like that's the only way, because I'm anonymous, that like I can, I don't know, say something about myself. I don't know if I'm a particularly likable person or anything,
So what's your handle on Instagram? Because I know on the internet, you're peterlakesounds.com. So what are you on the on Instagram?
Oh yeah. I should probably say it's at Peter Lake Music, and I put stuff on there that's like real stuff. Like my last song that I was in the studio today mixing, it's a song that like my friend like saw me working, and she took a video of me writing the song. That was a couple weeks ago, and it's like real time. I do the song, and it's like seeing the process a little bit, because if you're like an artist, it's like I was thinking about it. If you're like a painter on Instagram, you're like, here's my painting, But for me, I don't really know how to connect with people because it's music, and I don't do concerts, so I don't know. But yeah, at Peter Lake Music if you like, and I'm always happy to email people. I give unsolicited advice to big music stars, saying, hey, I'll write a song for you because I think the last one wasn't so great, but I think I got one for you. And sometimes they respond and they're like, thanks, or screw you, or that sounds cool. Meet with my manager, But it's fun. It's fun to be in it because at the end of the day, like there's a currency here, and the currency is creating music. And like there's a lot of business stuff and all those other things, but it's pretty like pure, and it's a large volume of stuff, and it's there's no genre about it. So I would hope that if you hear the songs that are out, you couldn't really say what this genre is. I mean, maybe it's pop. People like it, but there's a lot of stuff. One of the albums coming out later this year is going to sound kind of like folk music and all this stuff. So I think the reality is that if you ever ask somebody, what kind of music do you like? That quick question. Nobody's going to say reggae, not because reggae isn't great, but like everything's blending, right? And like, that's the future of it. It's not about these genres. It's about music, together. So that's kind of the idea with the colors. Right. It was a little cheesy, but I thought the primary colors, from that you can make any color. So I figure, hey, you can sound like music.
Right. You can make any color. You can make any song. You can make any album. Well, Peter Lake, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. It's been a pleasure. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do.
Oh, well, thank you. And I appreciate you having me. It's really nice of you.
All right. You have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right. You too. Bye.
Today, gotta feel through the darkness just to find me. I'ma fly today, In and out of your mind swooping, can I stay there? Were you wrong to stay? Will this wind come twist and turn and finally throw me off? Quick as you rise, quick as you fall, love, oh, not up for that, can't move you at all. Wind play, shadow game, come a little bit closer, take your aim. Wind play, this shadow game, come a little bit closer, call my name. Night lights off today, gotta peel off all these layers just to see me. I'm a fly today, in and out of your mind telling me, can I stay there? Was I wrong to stay? Will this wind come twist and turn and finally throw me off? Quick as you rise, quick as you fall, love, oh, not up for that, can't move you at all. Wind play, shadow game, come a little bit closer, take your aim. Wind play, this shadow game, come a little bit closer, call my name. Wind play, shadow game, come a little bit closer, take your aim. Wind play, this shadow game, come a little bit closer, call my name.